get my master's of law, but the thing that really crystallized for me being a mom and able to be successful is you have to have the support, right?
I remember God saying to me, listen, if you didn't die at the point of impact, you're going to be okay. You know the point of impact. When you get the knock on the door, you know the point of impact. When you pick up the phone and you get that news, if you didn't die on the point of impact, you're going to be all right. That's a good place to clap your hands right there. Inside of you. There's something more powerful inside of you. Honey, y'all better take a breath. I'm telling you.
It wasn't mine.
You gonna get some deliverance here today.
Hey there, everybody. This is Nicole Mason. Yes, the Nicole Mason Show, where we bring in some phenomenal women who are moving and shaking in their respective industries. Women who will share with you their trials, their triumphs, their obstacles and oppositions, but they will also share how God has brought them over and brought them through. Listen, I always get excited because every day is a new day on the Nicole Mason Show. Listen, this is why you have to tune in, because you never know who you're going to meet on the Nicole Mason Show. And so today, I am super duper excited about my awesome guest who is going to inspire you, who is going to let you know about the power of God and just really how you are able to triumph and over your trials and your tribulations and really come through with a positive energy, with a spirit to know that God is yet with you and leading you and guiding you. So I want to introduce you today to Melanie Gamble. She is known as the go-to expert for all things real estate. Yes, she is the proud owner of Remax Supreme and 212 Degrees Realty LLC with offices in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. She recently purchased a second Remax franchise and continues to add agents, staff, and office space to her thriving real estate portfolio. Melanie's most recent success is born out of her fight with breast cancer in 2009. Melanie was raised in Pensacola, Florida, and is a graduate of Florida A&M University, HBCU, where she received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in public administration. While in graduate school at Florida A&M, Melanie became the first woman and the youngest executive director for the Florida Conference of Black State Legislators, overseeing many pieces of legislation. Her proudest accomplishment came during the 1994 legislative session when she had the opportunity to work with the descendants of Rosewood. She lobbied exceptionally hard for the introduction and passage of the Rosewood Bill in 1994, which awarded the descendants from Rosewood, Florida, over $3 million in reparations. In 2012 and 2013, DiversityBusiness.com recognized 212 Degrees Realty, LLC, as one of the top 50 women-owned businesses in the state of Maryland and one of the top 500 African-American-owned businesses in the United States. Melanie and her husband were featured in the January-February 2013 edition of Black Enterprise, where they opened up concerning their failures and successes in business. In 2015, Melanie earned the number 5 ranking in Maryland from Real Trends America's Best Real Estate Agents in America. Melanie is a 2005 graduate of the Maryland Association of Realtors Leadership Academy. In 2011, Melanie founded Esther's Closet. Esther's Closet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering, equipping, and edifying young women by providing them clothes, counsel, and commitment. In 2013, Melanie was asked to serve on the board of directors for the National REO Brokers Association Incorporated, making her the first African-American woman to hold this position. Melanie currently serves as the secretary for the Prince George's County chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers Incorporated. Through all of her achievements, Melanie's greatest accomplishments are being a wife and mother to 3 boys. Whoop, whoop! We welcome to the Nicole Mason Show, Melanie Gamble. Hey, sister, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Listen, I know you are super duper busy, so I just want to say thank you. First of all, we got to get comfortable in these chairs. Listen, listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know me. All of y'all, my audience, my scopers, y'all know this. I'm just true to who I am, right? So first of all, we got to make sure we don't fall off of these stools. Right. So we've been scooching and we've been twisting and turning. And so if y'all see us twisting and turning, it's because we just trying to get comfortable. So listen, welcome to the Nicole Mason Show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Listen, I am so excited. We finally nailed Melanie down. Listen, when you are a real estate broker, when you making money, because that's what she doing. When you making money, honey, you have a whole lot going on. And so we are so thankful that you cleared your schedule to be with us today because you have a powerful story. And I really wanted you to come and share with the audience because, of course, you know, my platform is really about helping women to achieve their goals, no matter what has hit them in life. Right? So, you know, breast cancer survivor, coming through the whole blow up bubble of the mortgage industry. Yes. Mm-hmm. So wherever you want to start, sister, it's your time. I'm just so excited. And I have to give a shout out to her husband, right?
Yes.
Julius, because Julius and I went to divinity school together. Really nice guy, nice brother. Yes. And so their family sort of mirrors ours because my husband is super duper nice too. And then I had 3 sons. She has 3 sons.
There we go.
Right. So we just have this connection, y'all.
That's right.
So I don't know where you want to start, but I know that God has done some amazing things in your family's lives. And I really just wanted you to share the power of God, how he brought you all over, starting with, you know, a diagnosis of breast cancer.
Wow is right. And I just, first and foremost, I just want to thank you. Thank you for sharing your platform with me today and allowing me this opportunity to share really the good news of Christ.
Yes.
Because it is only by the grace of God that I'm sitting here and able to speak with you today. And I do not take it for granted and I don't take it lightly. So I jump at every opportunity I can just to spread the message, of course, of how the Lord has just used me. He continues to use me as a vessel. And that's how I look at it, Nicole. I really just look at it as a vessel. And no matter what I've gone through, it is to help someone else. And that's why I don't mind sharing. And like I said, I jump at every opportunity to share because I just pray that if it's just one person, and I say that oftentimes, even when we're doing Esther's Closet, and sometimes we'll sit there and, you know, one day we might get 100 people and the next day we'll get no one. And I say, you know what, that's okay, because if just one young lady that came through, if we have touched her life in any way to make it better, and that she'll remember that and pay it forward, then we've done our job. And so in 2009, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, we had just come through the Great Recession of 2008, where literally I went from making $500,000 a year to wondering how I was going to make it. At that time, my husband was actually working in real estate with me. I'm sorry, let me go back. During the Great Recession, my husband was working with me. When I was diagnosed, thank God, he had actually gone back to work. And that's how we were able to have benefits. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
So
yes.
that I could go to the hospital and not worry worry about having $1 million
Yeah.
bill when it was all said and done. But yes, received the diagnosis in March of 2009. Had surgery in April of 2009 and proceeded with chemotherapy for the next 7 months, and then we had radiation treatment.
Wow.
But again, I'm here.
Yes.
And I praise God and I thank him.
Yes.
Every single day. And really, Nicole, it starts in your mind. It really is all in your mind and your mindset and having faith.
Yes. Yes.
And without my faith, I don't know if I'd be sharing the same story with you.
Yeah.
But because of the faith that I had in the Lord, and because my mindset, all the things that I've been through in life, you read a snippet of my bio.
Yes.
I've been through so much more. I've survived so much more. So out of all the things that I've survived in my life, my baby at the time was only 1.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and when I received the diagnosis, I think my husband was in more shock than I was. And I just looked at the doctor and I said, okay, well, what are the next steps? Because I just wanted to go through the steps because I knew that wasn't the end for me. I'm like, because again, sitting there, I'm like, Lord, out of everything I've been through, this is not going to take me out.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to allow me to go out with this. And my baby's only 1 year old.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've been through too much. And I just know that in my heart that the Lord still had so much more for me to do. And so that is
That's
my
powerful.
Yeah.
Well, and as I sit here, I think about a couple of people that I've walked with through a diagnosis all the way through treatment. And you're absolutely correct. It starts in the mind. It really is about your mindset and really understanding that the power starts with our thoughts.
Yes.
The power thoughts, the power starts in our thoughts, and really pushing that energy out, because some of the people who are in that medical field, and I know they mean well, but there were a couple of sisters that I walked with, and just sitting there listening to the people who were supposed to help them, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
It wasn't so much doom and gloom as much as it was in their minds, I guess, trying to give them a dose of reality or something.
Yes.
And you really have to be filled with faith, like you said, to navigate not just the steps, but the people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because as I was going through chemo, you go and you go for your treatment, and you're there pretty much all day. And initially they were sending by who they had on staff to minister. And I would just say, most of the time I was ministering to her because I'm like, I'm not really sure whose chart you looked at before you walked in here.
Right.
But you're coming in here like, you're dealing with someone with a grim diagnosis. I'm going to be fine, sis.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know, I'm going to be fine.
Yes.
I'm here and I'm hooked up. I mean, and so literally it just got to the point to where they just stopped coming.
Right.
Cause
they're like, you can pass her up. Go on to the next person.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's really powerful. And although we're chuckling about it, it's really a serious matter.
Oh yes.
Because so many people put a whole lot of stock in doctors, and we should follow what they say. Let me be clear. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying don't believe what your doctor says. But what I am saying is you have to add faith to your life.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I did learn in going through breast cancer is, and believe it or not, this came from a doctor. It really is about what you're eating.
Yeah.
So the same way that you eat and you end up being sick, you can eat to become well. So that is actually what I am working on, and I am educating myself every single day on what I need to do to stay well.
Yes.
And to grow get better.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, because even like with my mom, now my mom has diabetes. And there are oftentimes things that I'm telling her, well, Mom, you shouldn't be eating that. You know, she'll tell me what she cooked. I'm like, why are you cooking that?
Yeah.
You know, that's how you ended up with diabetes.
Yeah.
Let's reverse that. And it is reversible.
Yeah.
There are so many things that are reversible.
Yeah.
It's about what we're taking in.
Yeah. And, you know, that is so true. And I think we see a lot of different people around, and a lot of them we kind of cross paths with when we have go to our conferences and we meet up.
Yeah.
You know, the Candace Camilles of the world and Sharice Richards, who are really focusing on being well, and Be Fit Belinda.
Yes.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. Hey.
You know, really teaching and educating others about eating well and you know, exercising. And I'm huge on sleep. I just think if you just go to sleep, go to get some rest. If you just go to sleep and get some rest, that'll help you out a lot too, right?
Right.
Because, you know, when I learned from one of the wonderful naturopathic doctors in the city that the body is a natural stem cell producer between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And you need to take that TV out your room. Let me go there. Take that TV out your room because it needs to be pitch black for your body to rejuvenate itself. Listen, I'm of the mind that God knew exactly what he was doing when he created these complex bodies. Right?
Yes.
So if God rested, okay, why do you think you can go on and not rest? I don't get it.
Right.
And really, for women in particular, because I look at my husband. My husband can go.
Yes.
I can't do that because my body is not designed that way.
Right.
We are carriers of life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You have to rest your body. Now, he'll go till he just break all the way down, you know, then he sleep for like 2-3 days, right? No. This is the reason that we're supposed to rest the body every night and rejuvenate it. So I'm with you. Eating well and exercising and sleeping and really getting rid of all the negativity.
Yes.
So talk about that. Talk about when you're going through something like that. So you all are in the midst of not just a financial crisis, but then a physical crisis, emotional crisis, everything coming down at once.
Yes.
How did you shield yourself from the people who were supposed to be encouraging you?
Right.
But, you know, it ends up like, was that supposed to be positive?
Right.
I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah.
But talk about that.
Yeah. So Nicole, you hit it right on the head, and it's actually a way that I carry my life. I do my best to insulate myself from negative people. So I typically don't have them in my life to start with. So
That's
it was, so it was pretty easy not to encounter them as I was going through. Of course, you know, there were some people that I hadn't heard from years. And for whatever reason, they'd heard that I'd had a diagnosis, and, you know, they were reaching out, and, you know, and it was somewhat positive, as you said. And then the ones that were negative, you know, I would just say to them, if they said something, and it's the same way that I handle it when people are, when I'm interacting with people with my children, and they say something that I don't like about my child, I'll just say, well, you know, I don't speak in that manner, and I don't believe that, and I'm not speaking that over my child. And, you know, I instantly reverse those words, because what you don't want are those vibrations to continue and to get into your subconscious. And so that's why it's so important. You know, you hear a lot of people that have affirmations. Some people write out scriptures. Whatever it is that you do on a daily basis in your quiet time to meditate, I tell people, make sure that it is positive. Make sure you are speaking life. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, that's so cliche. That's just of this, you know, of this time, you know, all these affirmations. And I'm like, no, it's real.
Yes.
It is whatever you tell yourself and you believe. That's where the faith comes in.
Yes.
You have to believe it in yourself. And then it will manifest itself. And so that's why you're not going to walk up on me and say, oh.
Right.
I'm like, no, sweetie, I'm fine. Yes. You can take your hand. You can remove your hand. I'm good.
Right.
I am good. By his stripes, I am healed.
Yes.
All is well.
Yes. Yes.
So you don't have to have the
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And so
And you find that when you have that kind of energy, and I love that word, the vibrations. I
Yes.
love that. Vibrations, and you can't let it get in your subconscious. I'm like, yeah, that's my kind of talking right there. But when you have that kind of posture and that kind of energy, you know, for some people, it puts them off. It's off-putting. They're like, okay, she's a little off.
Yeah.
She's a little radical. All of those things.
Right.
And guess what? We like, yeah,
Yep.
that is true, right?
Exactly.
That is true.
Exactly.
Thank you for all those labels.
yes.
You know, because you really have to be okay with being outside of the box.
Sure.
Going against the grain.
Yeah.
You know, going against the status quo if you are going to be successful.
Absolutely. Well, and that's what happened in 2009 when I was there and I was on my, I call it a sabbatical, because I really couldn't work. I had one client throughout the entire year of 2009. I had a couple of listings that they were able to close, but I had one client, and I want to give a shout out to Letitia and Chris, because they hung in there with me, and they've actually bought and sold another home with me since then.
Good.
But they hung in there with me, and they knew that I was going through chemo, and they were, on the days that I couldn't go, they were okay. And they're filled with faith.
Yeah.
So they said to me, Melanie, you know, whatever the house that the Lord has for us, it's going to be there.
Yes.
Whether we go today or tomorrow, it's okay. You get your rest. You know.
Yeah.
And they were so patient with me, and I thank God for people like that. But during that 1 year, when I had a chance to be on that sabbatical, and I was doing research on where the industry was and where everything was going, I kept seeing nothing but bank foreclosures.
Wow.
That's all I saw. And I said, you know what? It's actually an industry that I was in a little bit, like in 05, 06, but the market was so hot and there was very few of them. It wasn't a pond that I really wanted to fish in at that time, right? Fast forward 2009, the fish have come.
Yeah.
The pond is full.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, this is where I need to be fishing. But getting into those institutions, that was a whole nother story. And no one wanted to give up that information because there are very few people in the industry, especially very few African Americans and even fewer women. So finally, I found this one sister who had several accounts, and she'd been in the industry for a while. And I was talking to her, and I said, well, how did you get in? Well, all she said to me was, well, you know, someone in my office, it's not really my account, it's someone in my office, and they went to a conference. That's all she had to tell me. Of course, she didn't tell me the name of the conference. She didn't tell me anything. But that's all she had to say was, I was like, oh, they have conferences. Okay.
Right. Right.
So as I'm in my bed, most of the times, I'm there with my laptop laying, and I'm looking. All I'm researching at that point is REO conferences.
Wow.
I found a conference, 5-star conference, right? I started my chemo like May, I don't remember the date, but whatever the date was, the conference was literally like that same week.
Oh my goodness.
But I was so anxious. I was like, I gotta go. Well, thank God for my husband. My husband's like, Melanie,
Right.
you've never had chemo before. I know you think you're Superwoman. And not that you're not, but why don't you wait? Because they had another conference in September.
Right.
Why don't you wait
Yes.
and see? Right. Just in case. So I'm like, okay.
Right. That was hard. I already
Yeah.
know that was hard.
I was like, okay.
Right. Because once you get your mind set,
Right.
you're like, you know
Yes.
what? No. I'm going to that conference.
Right.
I know I'm having chemo, but I'm going to that conference.
Yes.
He's like, no.
Right.
Usually, they let us do what we want to do to
Right.
a degree. It's like,
Right.
now I have to step in and be the voice of reason. Right? Go,
Right.
Julius.
Right. And that's exactly what happened. So I did not go in May. But believe me, as soon as September got there,
Right.
I was there. But I'm thankful. I'm so thankful I didn't go because chemo was like, whew.
Yeah.
It's like something I would not wish on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
And I've said that over and over again. I just would not.
Yeah.
But I was there in September, and I just started making contacts, and I started learning. So the key in any industry that you want to be in is learning the industry.
Yes.
So even though I'm a real estate agent, at that point I'm a broker, but I don't know a whole lot about REO. The little bit that I had in 06, it wasn't enough to really keep me and take me into 09.
REO?
REO stands for real estate owned, and all it is are bank-owned properties.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm there with the objective of meeting people who are over assets.
Right.
For Bank of America, Countrywide, any financial institution that I can get in their face and say, hey, do you need somebody in Prince George's County, Maryland, or Washington, D.C., or Alexandria, Virginia?
Yes.
I'm your girl.
Right.
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 So this is what I'm doing, you know, and of course, you know, oh, well, yes, thank you. You know, yes, we have someone in your area, and you know, you go through that, and that's fine.
And that's fine, right? But you
that's
can't
fine.
stop what God
right?
already has
Exactly. Because you know, I never forget one of my mentors told me a long time ago, because I actually wanted to be an attorney at one point in my life, and that's why I actually have an undergraduate degree in criminal justice. And I never forget. I had asked my mentor. I said, "Well, you know, there's so many attorneys," and he said, "You know what, Melanie? There's always room for a good one."
Yeah.
And that always sticks in my head with any industry.
Yes.
I tell young
really
people,
good.
I tell young people that now. There's always room for a good one.
Yes.
So that's what I would tell people, you know. They would say, well, you know, and I have someone in there. Okay, well, just keep my card.
Right.
Because you never know. Because I'm a good one.
Right. I'm an asset. You want me a part of your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so in 2010, I was actually accepted into the National REO Brokers Association, right? Then this was an association that I'd actually been on the wait list to get into.
Wow.
Yes. But I was accepted, and I went, and this is, and again, everything in my life, and if most people would look back on their lives and if they really had faith, they would know that God had his hand and was orchestrating and molding and moving and shaping, and putting things, and you know, and you in what you might think is the wrong place, but it's the right time for God, and you know, so just really, again, grace of God. My husband and I were at the Annapolis Mall with the kids. It was like in May or June of 2010. We're just walking through the mall, and I run into someone we used to be in the same real estate office prior to the crash. And I said, hey, how you doing? We're just talking. And she said, oh, yeah, girl, I'm out here. I'm trying to get ready to go to Vegas. I said, really? What you going to Vegas for? She said, oh, you know, I'm going to a conference. I said, really? What kind of conference you going to?
Right.
She said, I'm going, you know, NRBA is having a conference. I said, really? I said, I just got accepted to that organization. I didn't hear about a conference. And do you know, she said to me, she said, no, I said NRBA. Yeah, the National REO Brokers Association. Yes, that's what I said. Yes, I'm a member.
Girl, don't get me started. She's like, I want to make sure. Are you talking about the same one?
Right. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm a member. She's like, and I kid you not, without batting an eye. No, you're not.
Oh.
I said, well, yeah, I am, really. No, you're not. Yes, yeah, I am. Now I just got in. I'm not gonna lie and tell you I've been in forever. I just got in, but I am a member.
Right.
And the look on her face was like, I was like, okay. Wow. So I told my husband, I said, okay, but we're going to walk away now.
I'm going to smile on your face. But that was a sign that this was the right way I was going. Right.
Said, and as soon as we get home, I'm going to go look up this conference because I am a member, and I'm going to get on the website. And I found it. And they were having something in Vegas, and I'm, you know, and again, now we're struggling. We're struggling. But I'm like, honey, I don't know. Can we work it out? I really need to go. Yeah. He's like, yeah, go do what you need to do. I get there, and Nicole, they were teaching us about how to apply to become a HUD listing broker.
Wow. So everything is just falling into place.
Yes. So they taught me how to put the proposal together. I went home. I put my proposal together. Within the next 2 months, the RFP came out.
Wow.
I applied. I was accepted, and literally, I can say the rest is history.
Wow.
Because from there, the Lord just kept opening door after door after door after door, and so now I can sit here and I can proudly say that I'm an REO broker with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, VA, and a host of other asset management companies, and all of that really is just because in my mind, I said, this is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Because not only from a business standpoint, but Nicole, the people that I saw at the time that were being awarded the assets in my neighborhood, they didn't live in my neighborhood.
Right. Nor did they look like you.
Right.
I know that.
Yes. Nor if you had given them a regular listing or client outside of the REO space, would they have taken it?
Right. Right.
I don't believe that they would. And the things that I saw, and you may have seen in the news where some of the banks had actually gotten in trouble because they weren't keeping up the properties in our neighborhood like they were in some other neighborhoods. And they got huge fines levied against them. And so all of that I was able to use and go in and actually lobby for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
this is a big deal, you know. So somebody listening to us, they may not be familiar. So this is a big deal.
Right.
Okay, we have to break this down to you. Okay, this is not something that is just about fly by night. Okay,
Right.
This is working with the banks, working with asset management companies, working with people who have money,
Right.
who own all of these different properties, who can say whether they want to sell here or sell or not, whether they
Right.
want to do business here or not.
Right.
You know, all of that. So this is a big deal.
Right.
So this she's sitting here, she's humble and all that, but this is a big deal. I'm saying it. She doesn't have to say it, right?
Right.
This is a big deal. So I want you all to listen because the whole point of the platform is for you to understand that you can do it too. Yeah. And what I hear you saying, sis, is you put your mind to it. You were in the midst of trial. Yes. But yet in the midst of trial, God still gave you information to prepare you.
Yes.
So when you came through that trial, you were ready to hit the ground running.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I hear clearly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So once you started, tell me about, getting your first brokerage. And, I know last year you got the second one
right.
with the office over the National Harbor. I was so mad I missed that. Yeah. I was so mad because I was coming. I wake
right.
up and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's the opening of Melanie's second office.
Yeah.
Talk about that because I was so proud. I was so proud.
Thank you.
And I felt like, it couldn't have happened to better people because I know your husband. When I met you at the Divinity School, it's something that we were having. You all are just really, really genuinely nice and kind people. I'm like, yes, this is great. So talk about, really taking the step to do that.
Right.
Because I know that's a huge step.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of brokers that look like her.
Right.
See, I can say it. And so you have to really understand the depth and the breadth of what she has accomplished. So, talk about that process.
Sure. So in 2014, we had come to a place where I had achieved great success. That's just bottom line.
Right.
I
love it. she been so my look. She was balling.
Right now.
Okay? Yeah. Wait a minute. Somebody say Reverend Melanie is a phenomenal woman. So proud of her. Yeah, she good people. That's right. Hey, Natalie Pinkett.
Yes. Hey, Natalie. Hey.
No, let me break this down for y'all. She was balling. Okay, balling and shot calling. All right. Yeah, that's why she on the Nicole Mason show, because those the people I roll with. Right. Ballers and shot callers, okay? So,
Yeah, so in 2014, so I came out of a RE/MAX franchise. Mm-hmm. That's before I started my own independent brokerage, 212 Degrees Realty. I was a RE/MAX agent. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if you're familiar, but Warren Buffett actually in 2013, he jumped into the real estate business where he actually opened up a company called Berkshire Hathaway. Mm-hmm. Essentially, So essentially what he did was he purchased Prudential, which I didn't know at the time that that's what he had done, but I met with the representatives from Berkshire Hathaway to talk to them about opening a franchise in Prince George's County.
She said, I love you. You're so modest.
No.
First of all, let me stop y'all. Y'all know who Warren Buffett is?
Right.
Okay. One of the richest men in the world.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
First of all, Berkshire Hathaway. Look them up. Look up their assets. Okay.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
been so modest. I love her.
No.
Okay, so you met with them. Okay.
Right. And so I met with them, and after they explained to me their business model and how their agents would be compensated and how the owners are compensated, it just it did not appeal to me. Even though that Warren Buffett was a part of it, I was interested in being with top producers. I wanted to. I'm a teacher, I believe, and trainer at heart.
Yeah.
I really believe in sharing what the Lord has given me and allowed me to experience. I believe that. And when I was saying even about going through cancer, I always said it wasn't for me.
Yes. Yes.
That wasn't for me.
Yes.
It was for me to share and to help. I've talked to so many women. I'll get calls or emails and people say, my girlfriend was just diagnosed. Can she call you? Sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so when blessings are coming upon me, oftentimes I'm like, okay, I know this isn't just for me.
Yes.
And so we were to a point where I said to my husband, okay, so I want to bring on more agents, but the agents that I want to bring on, I know most of them would never affiliate with an independent brokerage. So an independent brokerage is, not a franchise,
Right.
Not your Keller Williams
Yes.
or Remax, I'm just independent. I'm Melanie Gamble. I set up 212 Degrees
Right.
Realty.
Right.
And even though, honestly, in 2015, I was the number 3 agent in Prince George's County, number 5 in the state of Maryland, but some people just wouldn't affiliate with just that. And I get it because I'm a kind of corporate person myself.
Right.
And so
Y'all see how she just glossed.
no,
Number 3.
no,
Okay. Number 3. Okay. And number 5. All right. The top 10.
Right.
And I love the way you said that. And although Warren Buffett was a part of it, I didn't like their business model. I love that. Okay. The whole point is she even was at the table. Okay. Don't miss this. Okay. Melanie is so modest. Don't miss it. But I'm going to point it out for you. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, thank
sis.
you, Nicole.
I'm going to point it out.
So I interviewed with Exit. I interviewed with pretty much all of the major franchises, and at the end of the day, Remax still, to me, was the best for the agent, a producing agent. So I want to clarify that.
Money.
Right.
Producing.
Right, producing
Okay.
agents, because that's who I wanted to affiliate with. Because other franchises, and there's no knock on them, and there's
Sure.
a place for
Sure.
all of them.
Sure.
I tell people all the time, people who are just getting licensed and they want to come and affiliate with me, I often tell them, go to Long and Foster, because that's where I started. Go to Long and Foster, get your training. Then we come back and talk.
Okay.
Because I don't always have time to train.
Yeah.
But I can definitely coach you and I can teach you. But the basics every day, that kind of thing, I'm putting it in place. So 2017, I'll be able to have those conversations with those people because we are putting it in place. And I do actually, my Virginia broker actually is a Tom Ferry coach. So he actually will start doing some of that training on behalf of the company. We're getting that in place.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that Remax, if you're producing, because there's a fee. There's a fee.
There's a fee. You got to pay some money to make some money. That's just the bottom line.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying as far as the business model, because with some of the other companies, I could bring on 100 agents. There's no overhead for me. But to me, what's the beauty of going around being able to tell people I have 100 agents and they pull up my numbers and I'm not producing?
Right.
So essentially what I've told you is I have a whole lot of liability. So,
And I also hear you have a lot of integrity.
yes.
See?
Yeah.
Because integrity says, I want the people that are working for me to be making money.
Yes.
I don't just want you on my books
No.
saying that I have 50-11. That's what my grandmother would say. 50-11. 11 agents, all
right,
so
right.
that it can look good on paper.
Right.
But at the end of the day, people are not able to take care of their family. So that's what I
Right.
also hear.
Yeah.
So I'm interpreting for Melanie.
Right.
Okay. So yeah.
Thank you.
So I get that.
Yeah.
And so, just even having the courage and the audacity to say, I'm going to not just make sure that I have some legacy and wealth that I'm building for my family, I'm going to
Right.
help others do
Yes.
likewise.
Yes.
And I think that's critically important in this hour, and that you are telling people, go get your training,
Yes.
and then you can come over here, because
Right.
the foundation is very important.
Yes. Absolutely.
And a lot of times I think, you're dead on, because people in different industries, they miss it. You see them, you're like, you're not competent. Don't stand up again.
Right.
Nope, don't do it.
Right.
Don't stand up before that
Right.
and get on that platform saying
Right.
you know what you're talking about.
Right.
Because the trained ear is like, you don't know.
Right. Well, and it's so funny because one of my agents actually called another agent about a HUD property recently. And the listing agent said, well, who's your broker? And they said, Melanie Gamble. And he said, why aren't you talking to Melanie? Because I now teach for HUD. Well, not for HUD, but I teach classes
About this process.
Yes,
Right.
about the process. And so
Wow.
so when she called me and she said, oh yeah, the agent told me to call you, and I said, well, of course.
Right.
Yes. Always. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank goodness the person had enough sense to say that to the agent,
Right.
because that could have gone a whole lot of different
Yes,
ways, right?
yes, yes, yes.
So, Melanie, talk to people who may be saying, I want to know if this industry is for me. What kind of advice do you give people who want to break into the industry, and particularly women, because
Yeah.
this is a woman's platform, and I know men y'all watch, and I appreciate y'all, but women who want to take control of their lives, and women who want to, create a different paradigm for themselves. What's your advice to that woman?
Well, what I encourage everyone to do is to find their passion. Throughout the years, I've had people, they'll be sitting at the settlement table and they'll look and they'll see how much I'm making in commission, and they're like, oh. And maybe in their minds,
I can do that.
right.
This is easy.
Right, exactly. And that's what they think, like, oh, well, she showed us a couple of houses. She did a little paperwork. And, like,
no.
boo, you have no idea.
Right. It's hard work.
What I did to keep your transaction together,
Yes,
or to,
yes.
make sure that your financing was straight, or,
Yeah.
there are a myriad of things
moving parts.
that we do to keep the ball moving so that you can be sitting at the table to look at this sheet of paper. And, oh, by the way, I didn't get paid for those 3 months we were just looking at houses.
Right.
So I want you to divide that number
Right.
by the number of hours that I actually worked.
Right.
For
So
you.
now we're gonna break it down. We're
Yeah.
gonna really break it down for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because literally there's some transactions, and we joke in my office, but there's some transactions at the end of the day, you're paying them to get rid of them.
Wow.
Like, you're paying them to put them in a house for as many hours as you have put in. And as an attorney, I mean, sometimes your billable hours still, at the end of the day, it doesn't add up to what you've put in from a personal standpoint.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you go above and beyond. You're not
Absolutely.
just doing what
Right.
you're billed to do.
Right.
And so it's the same difference. So I tell people, first and foremost, make sure it's something you're passionate about. Because if it's not, it does not matter how much you're going to make. You're not going to like it.
Absolutely.
You're going to get burned out. People are going to get on your nerves, But if it is something that people are passionate about, and they say, oh, no, I wanted to do this my whole life. I've been waiting to retire, or, I've been waiting to save up enough money. I tell them, get good training. Once you are licensed, make sure that you affiliate with someone who, number one, that the broker has a really good reputation.
Yes.
And that you're going to be able to get everything that you need. Right? And then once you do that, keep your options open.
Yeah.
Keep your options open. So often people will go, they'll affiliate with a broker. You know, we don't really like change. So they get there and then they're stuck.
Wow.
And when I say stuck, they're stuck mentally. They're stuck because they're like, oh, well, you know, this is where I started and, you know, I like all the people and, you know, but at the end of the day, are you producing?
I love that. I would put that on a card. Are you producing?
Right.
Are you producing? I'm gonna think about Melanie. Are you producing? Yes.
Right.
That's good.
Right. I mean, because it's unfortunate, but I'll be very honest. I've let people go from my brokerage who are negative and who are non-producers.
Yeah.
I don't have time for them, nor does my office.
Right. Right.
When you come to my office, people are making money.
Right.
That's the purpose of us being there.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously. We have a common goal.
Yes.
We all have a common goal. And that is that we do want to set up a legacy for our children. We do want to survive
Yes.
every single day. Right? And we do want to help our community.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for me, that probably above anything else is most important. That was really my driving factor with getting into REO, more so than the money or the listings that were attached to it. It was helping my community because I knew some of these people who were getting notices posted on their door and how they were being treated.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is not cool. It's not cool. Of course, there's a way to do your job. You know, we're given directions from the bank on what they want to do and how they want us to do it. But they're not here.
Yeah.
They're not looking these people in their eyes. So you do it the way it's best for you.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's best for your client.
Yeah. And if that were you or your family.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So bringing the human touch to this process that can be a really hard process for some people.
Yes.
And that's critically important. And I echo that, Melanie. Just, you know, finding your passion, because when you have the passion, the days when you have been out there for 3 months and you get to the table, it's the passion that says, okay, let's start this process all over again.
Right.
All over again, right? And so you're absolutely correct.
Right,
it's really having the passion and really putting forth the effort into what you're doing. I'm telling you, every time I'm having a good conversation, my engineer always putting his fingers up like, I'm like, dang, I got 5 minutes already? I can't believe the time has gone by. Yeah. But that's what happens when you're having good conversation and you're getting good information out there. Yes. But you're absolutely correct. Really being passionate about what you want to do and making a difference. That's the other thing too. Yes. So before we wrap up, talk about your nonprofit. I really like that. Esther's Closet.
Yes. So Esther's Closet was birthed, we're in our 6th year now.
Wow.
And it really started because there were young women in our church, you know, my husband and I used to be pastors, that were of prom age, and some of them didn't have the resources in which to properly go to prom or to even go to prom.
Yeah.
And of course, I had some dresses sitting in my closet. I had jewelry, bags, and there were other people that I'm like, well, you know what? We should just do a prom dress giveaway.
Yes.
Those are my initial thoughts. And the other part of it too, Nicole, is you have 3 sons and I have 3 sons, and looking at today's society, I'll be very candid and say that I am sometimes depressed looking at these young women and how they are presenting themselves.
Yes.
And so my passion in ministry is women, young women. Because, like I said, I've survived a lot. So we didn't talk about my childhood and growing up. And so the things that I have gone through and the things that I could be able to try to navigate another young girl. Don't go down, baby, not that path. Yes. See, that path is full of thorns and prickly things that's going to hurt you and tear your dress. And, you know, you're going to come out bloody on the other end. You know, if you just stay on this path, this path is smooth and there are no pebbles and no rocks, and you're not going to hurt yourself. And when you come out on the other side, you're going to be like pure gold.
Yes.
Right? So that's really in my heart. What I really, really want to do with young girls is just to help them and guide them. And when I see on the internet, and one of the young ladies recently, I don't know if you saw, it was going around on Facebook, I think for 2 years in a row now, but the young girl, she had her prom dress, it stopped like halfway, so you could see the bottom part of her breast, and then it went all the way down to like right at her bikini line.
No, I didn't
but
see
that was she was going to prom. So I said, you know what, Lord, so not only do we want to get prom dresses for the women, but now we need to coach them.
Yes.
And we need to talk to them.
Yes.
And we need to educate them. And so I named it Esther's Closet because our tagline is we're bringing queenly back.
Love it.
We want young women to look at themselves as who they are, who they were made to be, which are queens. What image are you trying to project? And I ask young women that all the time.
Yeah.
Where are you going where I can see there's nothing left to the imagination?
Yes.
What is my son going to have to look forward to?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And listen, because my time is wrapping up, but you're
Yes.
coming back. You're
Okay.
coming back. Because that's a whole nother
Yes,
subject.
yes it is. Yes it is.
And that deserves a whole hour. But I want you to come back, and I want
Yes.
you to talk about Esther's Closet, why you're passionate about Esther's Closet, because we have some things in common. We could go there.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
y'all.
yes.
So my girl, Melanie Gamble, listen, real estate broker. She is a mogul for real. She's just sitting here. She's a mogul. And how can people connect with you?
So you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook. I am Melanie Gamble everywhere. That's one thing that's really important. And this is a quick little marketing tip for if you have a business, you want to be the same name everywhere. So when people Google you, they're not gonna look for Honey Boo Boo on Twitter, and they're not gonna look for Bebe's mama on Instagram. They're gonna be looking for Melanie Gamble.
Right.
So
Or
I'm
Nicole Mason.
or Nicole Mason. That's
Yes.
right. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
So I am pretty much any platform you go to, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Melanie Gamble.
All right, y'all. That's it. Listen, I'm so blessed that you were able to join me today.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you. It was a
definitely-
blessing for me.
Yes,
Thank
you're definitely
you.
going to come back. We're going to invite you back. I want to talk more about Esther's Closet, talk more about the passion behind that. Listen, next week, y'all, same time, same place, the Nicole Mason Show.
Yay!
So let me just take a breather. Y'all know me. I'm high energy, right? By this point, I was working on my master's of law. Finished law school, passed the bar, then did my master's of law. But the thing that really crystallized for me being a mom and able to be successful is you have to have the support, right?
I remember God saying to me, listen, if you didn't die at the point of impact, you're going to be okay. You know the point of impact. When you get the knock on the door, you know the point of impact. When you pick up the phone and you get that news, if you didn't die on the point of impact, you're going to be all right. That's a good place to clap your hands right there.
I'm here to tell you that there's something greater inside of you. There's something more powerful inside of you. some deliverance here today.